That series did not go the way I envisioned, and probably not the way most of us envisioned it. But that's baseball sometimes, right? Yeah. There's a rough 3 games between Wednesday's game when they got just pummeled by pitchers they shouldn't have been pummeled by with Uriarte and whatnot. And then to lose the 2 games that we lost, the way we lost. Friday's game, flat out inexcusable. And I will say Saturday's probably kind of falls under that category. But I'm going to tell you why Friday's is worse, even though it was incredibly deflating to lose Saturday night too. To me, Friday's game was worse because they had so many damn opportunities to score so many more runs, and they didn't. They went 1 for 16 again with runners in scoring position, and somehow only left 11 runners on base. And I'm going to say this too. Webb was used Friday night. I don't understand why he was used in the 9th instead of in the 10th. And I say that because in the 9th, they had batters 8, 9, and 1. And I get that Leo Rivas basically won them the game in the 10th. Not basically, he did. He got the winning single off of Zephyr-John. But Zephyr-John shot himself in the foot in many other ways, and I'll get into that here in just a minute. Welcome back to Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy. I'm your host, David Butler. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us some 5-star reviews on YouTube and or any audio platform. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook at Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy, and or on Twitter at dbutler79 or at Born into the Ivy. Come and follow us. Share us with your friends and help us gain some more followers. We'll start this.
Go, Cubs, go!
Let's go, Cubs. I get it. They lost 2 heartbreaking games. But I told you I was going to tell you why Friday's was worse. The runners in scoring position is my biggest reason, but also because of the way they used Webb and what Zephyr-John did. They have a runner on second to lead off the 10th, the way they always do, right? And the way they should. They bunt. They bring in a guy to bunt. They're giving up and out. However, the Cubs ran in a brilliant play. The wheel play, which anybody knows baseball, but if you don't, that is when there's a runner on second and nobody else on base. They bunt, and both the first baseman and third baseman are crashing. The second baseman and the shortstop go to first for the second baseman and third for the shortstop to cover third. When Zephyr-John got the ball, because it was bunted right back to him, when he got that baseball, the runner, I can't remember who it was, I apologize, doesn't matter, wasn't even halfway to third. He had plenty of time to get the lead runner, who was ultimately the one who scored with 2 outs. And he didn't even look that way. How do not even look that way? This dude is struggling, and he's in his head, and I'm going to keep making excuses, but it's inexcusable for him to not even look to see if he could get the lead runner. Inexcusable, especially as hard as that ball was bunted back to him. He had plenty of time to go get the shutout at first base. Plenty. Absolutely, utterly inexcusable that he did not get the lead runner, or at least look to see if he could. However, they got the 1 out. They bring in Ian Happ, and they get the second out on a ball right back to Zephyr-John, who did a really nice job jumping up, got it, threw it to first, to Bush, 2 outs. Ian Happ goes back out to the outfield. Fantastic. And this is going to be strike number 3. I haven't done strike number 1 yet. The first one was not looking and get the lead runner on the bunt for the first out. Strike number 3, though, or that was strike number 2, I'm sorry. Strike number 3, to me, for why the Cubs lost this game, on that hit by Leo Rivas to Pete. Pete was charging hard. And I'm not saying they would have definitely got him, but there is no way that the runner on first was expecting Pete to try and throw him out at second base. No way. I mean, but there is also no reason and inexcusable for Nico Horner and or Pedro Ramirez to not be covering second base in that situation. There was a force out of second. The runner would not have scored. He could have crossed all he wanted first. If they had gotten the force out of second, we go to 11. Inexcusable for Nico Horner and Pedro Ramirez to not cover. I saw a lot of people say on Twitter and or any social media, Dansby Swanson would have definitely made the play. That's very possible. I don't know. Nico Horner is an incredibly intelligent player. Pedro Ramirez is still young. He's a great defender. Anybody who says otherwise is just not paying attention. He is a great defender. I don't know that he's on the same level, in my opinion, as Nico and or Dansby, but he's close. I mean, he's really good. Anybody who's, like I said, if you disagree with that, you're not watching baseball correctly, because everything I've seen from the kid, for the most part, says that he is. He makes a lot of really good plays. He makes all the routine plays. Has he messed up? Yes, but so do those two. So did Nico and so does Dansby. But they should have been covering second on that situation. Again, I'm not saying he definitely would have thrown him out, but it was sure as hell worth a try. And Pete was ready for it. It's also one of those things, yeah, maybe he could have communicated it, but y'all also don't want to, hey, man, make sure you're covering second because that's going to give the runner a heads up. Oh, damn, I better be hustling, right? Maybe he was hustling, but from what I've seen, I wasn't at the game. They didn't show it on the camera that I saw, but from what I've been told, there was a chance. And what I've read, there was definitely a chance for them to get the base runner out of second to end that inning. Strike one, though, of those three strikes to me. Remember, Counsell thrown out of the game. Ryan Flaherty used Jacob Webb in the ninth against their 8-9-1. Why not save him? Use Zephyr John or somebody else for the ninth with that 8-9-1. Have Webb ready. By all means, how many times has he done 1 1/3 innings? Have him ready if you need for the leadoff hitter or the second hitter if somebody gets on. But tonight, or to have used him fully for that whole inning, I felt like was a waste. And I would have much rather seen him come out in the 10th for 2, 3, and 4. I think that makes plenty of sense. Just tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. Don't just tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong if you think that it was best to use Webb there. I understand that you got to get to the 10th, but it's much better leverage with him against the 2, 3, 4. It just is. And I think if Counsell had been up there, out there, had not been thrown out on a bogus call, it would have happened. Like, there's a whole lot of other things as to why the Cubs shouldn't have been in this, like, a tie 3-3 going into extra innings. But we're not going to go with all that. We're just starting to make too many excuses. But those were the three reasons why I felt like the Cubs blew it themselves with bad decisions. So, the Saturday game was terrible. It sucked. But Jacob Webb cannot be perfect all the time. Nobody is perfect all the time, folks. This dude's making like $2 or $3 million this year. Why are we expecting him to be perfect? Why do we think, oh man, just take him out of closer's role now? He blew it. The dude hadn't allowed a run since June 21st. That's over 2 months. 2 months. He also had pitched that was his fourth appearance in 6 days. He pitched on Monday and Tuesday, 22 and 14 pitches. Was off Wednesday. The team was off Thursday, so he was off. And then 11 pitches on Friday, 15 more on Saturday. That's 62 pitches in a 4 or 6 day span. That's a decent amount, folks. That's a decent amount. And I understand he's a major league player. He needs to be able to be ready. But 4 times is a lot for any relief pitcher. It just is. And if you disagree, again, you're not paying attention to baseball and how this works. That's a bit of an overuse. I understand why he was used. I'm not saying they should not have used him. I'm saying everything kind of added up to understand why it went the way it did. And there's no reason to think that he's terrible now. He is the man out there in that bullpen right now. And we should be expecting him to continue to be the man out there in that bullpen right now. All right. Game 3, amazing. Kick some butt. Pete, 33 home runs now, 32 stolen bases. Maybe there's a chance. We'll see. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the 40-40. Maybe there's a chance. If he hits 40-40, even if Shota comes back to pitch, and they say he's going to, he's got to be at least a strong consideration for the MVP. I get it. What Shota's doing is amazing, pitching and hitting. But he's not playing defense at all, like ever. I don't think that enough people are talking about that. The fact that he doesn't play a lick of defense unless he's pitching. Not a lick. That matters. And it's not like Pete is just going out there and playing defense every day. This dude is playing some of the best defense to ever grace a baseball field. I'm not saying it's definitely the best. I'm saying it's some of the best defense to ever grace a baseball field, let alone what's happening this year. Those things matter, and they matter for the discussion of whether or not he is going to be the MVP or whether it's Shohei. And I did not like one bit what John Smoltz kept saying, that it would be because of Shohei fatigue. Yeah, there is such a thing as that. I don't disagree with that. But you're taking way too much away from Pete when you say crap like that in a role that you have, and a prominent role that John Smoltz has. Crappy of him to do that, and really just a terrible, disrespectful thing to do. All right. Like I said, hell of a game. They crushed it. They scored way too many runs there at the end because of all the other stupid defensive miscues and all that stuff. But still, hell of a game. Hell of a series. Or not. I mean, it was great baseball theater for the other two games. It just didn't go the way we wanted it to and needed it to. The Brewers are now up 7. They're 6.5. I don't know what's happening in that game right now. It doesn't matter. We've got to take care of our own business and stop worrying about what the Brewers are doing. I'm not even worried about what the Phillies are doing. I see way too many people talking about that. We just need to worry about what the Chicago Cubs are doing right now. That's it. All right. Injuries for the Cubs. Matt Shaw is in rehab assignments with Iowa. He's playing well when he plays. He's playing every other day so far. This is his third game in the last 5 days and today. And I don't know exactly what he did, but he's playing well. I know when I last looked, he was 1 for 2. He went 2 for 4 a couple days ago, and I think it was 1 for 4 the first day of his rehab appearance. I believe that was Wednesday. So he was off on Thursday, off on Saturday. I expect that he'll probably be off tomorrow. The next big thing we want to look for in his rehab appearances is a back-to-back day, right? And see how he handles all that. So those are important things they talked about on Marquee and on Cubs.com, on MLB.com, that Ben Brown and Justin Steele both threw some live BPs or glorified live BPs. Craig Counsell had said, don't know exactly what that means, but that both of those things went well for both players, and they reacted well afterwards. So fantastic news. Inching closer. Ben Brown is definitely going to be closer than Justin Steele, just because he's pitched this year. That matters greatly, and we'll see what else happens. So, Hobie Milner, I don't understand why he's not with the Major League team. I'm really getting frustrated with it. And frankly, while we're talking about it, I'm pissed off that Javier Assad keeps getting sent back to the minors. This dude is one of the better pitchers, period. Bullpen or not. And I don't understand why we're taking advantage too much of this. Caleb Thielbar, He's doing all right at times, but then other times he's not. Zephyr, send him to AAA for freaking heaven's sake. I understand you traded Moises Ballesteros and other guys for this guy, but he ain't doing it right now, folks. He has like a 7.5 ERA for the Cubs since he got traded here. Something ain't right. Let's get it figured out. Sooner the better. But maybe not necessarily in the major leagues. Shelby Miller also had 2/3 of an inning the other day. No runs or anything else. 2 Ks. Fantastic. Still a ways away though, right? I think Ben Brown of the group of pitchers, besides Hobie, I don't know what's going on with that, but Hobie Milner has to be activated by Friday, or the Cubs, like, he can choose to be a free agent, I believe. So we'll see how that goes, but just craziness. I don't understand it. All right, so let's do the Arizona Diamondbacks preview now. Our probable starters on Monday, we got Kevin Gausman going against Merrill Kelly. Gausman is 6-11, 4.58 ERA, against Merrill Kelly, who is 8-11 with a 5.37 ERA. On Tuesday, we have Clay Holmes going at 5-6 with a 2.49 ERA versus Brandon Bott, who is 7-1 with a 3.39 ERA. This is a guy who really struggled last year and has really turned it around. So a guy, like, you're going to hear the name, you're going to say, oh, that's not much. He is much. He's back to what he was 2 years ago, and obviously has really good stats. So luckily for us, he's going against Clay Holmes, who has been phenomenal since we got him. On Wednesday, we have left-handed pitcher Matthew Boyd, 8-2 with a 4.15 against left-handed pitcher Eduardo Rodriguez, who has been absolutely dominant, 13-4 with a 2.61 ERA. Cubs are amazing against lefties, but we just got shut down. Okay, not shut down, but we got limited by a guy who had his first ever start with Kate Anderson and did pretty solid against us. So don't take this for granted, folks. The Diamondbacks are in third place in the NL West, and currently have a 69-62 record. They are 5-5 in the last 10. Their offense is ranked 10th in the majors at 4.56, versus the Cubs at second with a 5.12. Their starters are 4.2 ERA and 15th, with the Cubs at 4.35 and 18th. The relief pitching, however, is a little worse than the Cubs. They have a ERA in the relief corps with a 4.18. Cubs are 3.86 and 11th. Offensively, they are led by Gabriel Moreno, who has an 851 OPS, Corbin Carroll with an 834, Nolan Arenado with a 768, and Geraldo Perdomo, 726. It sounds like we probably will miss Ketel Marte. That's not a terrible thing for us. Terrible for them. Sorry about that. Don't like to see players get hurt, but it's certainly not going to hurt us to miss out on that guy. Bullpen is led by Brandon Garcia, a lefty southpaw for them at 2.48 ERA. Taylor Clark, the 2.37. Jonathan Loaizaga with a 2.63, and Juan Murillo with a 2.33 ERA. So as you can see or hear, that although their bullpen as a whole is not grand, they have some really good guys. So if they get the lead late against us, that doesn't necessarily bode well for us, right? So we need to get out early and often. They have two really good starters going against us. Kelly is capable of spinning a good game. I believe we faced him earlier this year and got to him pretty good, though. So, players of the week, we have Pete Crow Armstrong.
Go, Cubs, go!
Just edging out Alex Bregman. And these numbers are without today's game. And I will talk about today's game with him here in a second. PCA with 2 doubles, 0 triples, 4 home runs before today's game, 4 runs, 5 RBIs, 1 stolen base, a 350 batting average, 458 on base, 1,050 slug, and 1.508 OPS. This dude is on a tear. And before anybody wants to say it, Pete did not go against any of their position players. He did go 2 for 4 with a walk, scored 2 more runs, bringing his run total to 6. 3 more RBIs, bringing that to 8. Another home run, bringing that to 5. And another stolen base, bringing that to 2. So his average, well over the 350. His OPS goes closer to 1,700 or 1,800. So I didn't figure it up. It's not that big a deal, right? Pete was clearly the best player on this team this week. And that's with Alex Bregman tearing it up as well. So he tied it up in the 9th on Friday. We would not have had a chance without that. Don't forget that. Bregman is tearing it up too, folks. He is tearing it up too. Our starting pitcher was Clay Holmes, 1 game start. This dude did this. He's our starting pitcher of the week and a loss. That's how terrible overall the starting pitching was, folks. 5 in the 3rd inning, 1.69 ERA, 286 batting average though, 348 on base, 333 slug, and a 681 OPS. Relief pitching was Trent Thornton, 3 games, 3 in the 3rd inning, 0 runs, 200 average, 200 on base, 200 slug, and a 400 OPS against. So Trent was far away. Jacob Webb would have been if Saturday night had not happened. So things happen though. I mean, like I said, man, nobody can be perfect. Nobody's gonna be perfect, and it's just flat out silliness.
Go, Cubs, go!
To expect that to happen. We have 3 against Arizona. We really need to win 2 out of 3 after not taking 2 out. We would have needed 2 out of 3 anyway, folks. Love to see a sweep here. I think that's probably a tall task to ask for, giving some of the pitching performances or matchups. So, although I like ours, I like theirs too. So, especially those last 2 games, we really need to win tomorrow night. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us some 5-star reviews and follow us on Facebook at Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy. Don't like and subscribe on YouTube and or any audio platform. And don't forget us on Twitter, dbutler79 and at Born into the Ivy. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and let's go Cubs.